Good evening, everybody. Stephen Howson. Full-time Devils. Manchester United have drawn 0-0 away with Sevilla in the Champions League. And do you know what? It's not a good result. A draw away from home where you score, or if you can score and not lose, even losing 2-1 is actually a pretty decent result away from home in the Champions League. 0-0. Not really to say. Well, I guess there's not much difference between 0-0 and losing, to be honest. But when you draw 0-0, it does leave a little bit of a door open for now you've got a mountain to climb, because if they score when we get back to Old Trafford, you got problems. I did say before the game that I think people needed to get it in their head that a score draw would be a good result for us, because I genuinely believe that. I genuinely believe a score draw away in Europe in a two-legged tie where away goals count is a good result. I absolutely believe that 100%. 0-0. Jose Mourinho's going to tell you it's a good result. It's not a bad result, but it's certainly not a good result. It's a proper indifferent result. It's like, well, I guess we'll just go back to Old Trafford and see what it is then. It's better than losing. It's not really better than winning. It's certainly not better than getting a goal over there. So it's frustrating is what it is. It's frustrating. It's frustrating. Getting an away goal, even if you lose, does give you some advantage when you take it back to Old Trafford. You don't get that when you draw 0-0. Because we can, we can go and draw at Old Trafford now and be out. There's a conundrum to it, isn't it? It's not as clear cut as people sort of think it is. I'm just trying to think of incidents in the game that I thought are worthwhile. What I've got to say is David De Gea is hands down the best goalkeeper alive today. It's not even in question. It's not even in question. And the fact that he's approaching 20 clean sheets for Manchester United, and he's got to play behind Smalling. The guy is some sort of genius. That defence tonight, I do think Lindelof's got the potential to become a decent player alongside a very good defender, somebody like Baye. But the rest of the defence, well, even including him, everybody in that defence has got an absolute clanger in him. Valencia, pretty solid, but does have a mistake in him. He's still a winger that's playing at fullback. Ashley Young has got mistakes in him every 5 minutes of a game. Chris Smalling has got mistakes in him every single 5 minutes of the game. Lindelof has got mistakes in him. For a back four, that's absolutely terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. And we kept a clean sheet with that back four. The reason we kept a clean sheet was David De Gea. He pulled out some ridiculous saves today. What's crazy is that we actually controlled the game quite well, despite the fact that we allowed them. I mean, I know this is sounding mega contradictory, but I thought we didn't get overrun in midfield. We actually was quite solid in midfield. And I think that was largely down to the formation. But once they got onto our back line, I thought they made holes quite easily. I mean, that Estrada was doing my nutting. I've not seen a diver like that for a long time. He was awful. But they created chances. They had shots on goal. And I'm not just talking like mega far out shots on goal. Like, we can restrict people to those. They was actually having decently close and decent shots on goal. I thought Sanchez was largely anonymous. Might have been the worst performance so far from Sanchez. Didn't even realise he was on the pitch for most of the second half, and then he was subbed off. And you're like, there's a disconnect at the moment. And I thought McTominay, as an individual, had a pretty solid game, but I don't think he adds to the team around him. Does that make sense? Individually, didn't do anything wrong, did a few things right, but don't think he adds to the sum of the parts of that midfield. As I said, I think Jose's got a little bit of an eye on the Chelsea game, just a little bit of an eye, and he's going to take this as a result, bring them back to Old Trafford where we'll beat them and we'll progress into the next round. And ultimately, that's all you got to do in this competition. All you've got to do is get to the next round. It doesn't matter how you get there. I've said this a few times. I'm going to make this our mantra for this season. Matter, does it? It's about how we do going past and getting through. And if we shithouse our way through, Doesn't matter if your name goes on the trophy, your name is on the trophy. I would have a lot more confidence of United's ability to shithouse our way through if I just saw some link-up play. Against Huddersfield, Sanchez and Lukaku linked up brilliantly, like a dream for Lukaku's second goal. I want to see that added with Pogba. Can Pogba, Sanchez and Lukaku combine a few times, 4 or 5 times? If they can do that, then I honestly think that Manchester United are a match for anybody going forward. That we could shithouse our way. Because I believe in Jose Mourinho's ability to nullify the opposition. What I don't currently believe in is United's ability to nick that goal when we need to nick a goal. I don't believe in our ability to do that. I think we've got some brilliant individual talents. Lukaku, Pogba, Sanchez, Rashford, Martial, Juan Mata, Jesse Lingard. These are guys that can score you goals. I'm not seeing that X factor in this team yet. I'm not seeing the link-up play, the 1-2s, the telepathy, which makes you think no matter who we get, we'll get a chance and we'll put that chance away. I am not seeing that from United yet, which makes me think we're going to fall short. And it might be the next round. It might be the semi-final. If we got to a final, form goes out the window, everything goes out the window, and it's who's got the biggest bottle. I think we're going to fall well before then, because I am not seeing this link up. We have got a horrific month or so coming up at the moment. We've got Chelsea, we've got Liverpool, we've got the second leg of this. We've got FA Cup coming up soon. This is a nightmare month for United. The injury we picked up to Ander Herrera tonight was not good for us. We really couldn't have done with having someone of his level of experience in, certainly ahead of McTominay, even if it was just for the chance to rest Matic, because I think Matic looks like he needs a rest at the moment. That injury is carried on just a little bit, and I think he looks like he needs a rest. See what you guys are saying in the comments. Dilip says great individuals but not a great team. That's us at the moment, man. People laughing at the fact that I said final. Do you only just listen to different words and not actually full sentences? I said I think we're probably going to fall well short of a final. If we got to a final, it's different. But the sentence that I've said prior to that is pretty important to the point that I'm making. The fact that I think currently we are going to fall well short of a final. I definitely believe in Jose Mourinho's ability to nullify the opposition. And listen to what I'm saying. Maybe get an adult to write it down for you if you're too dumb to comprehend what I'm actually putting towards you here. We're not currently playing like a team that has got the ability and the belief in itself to nick a goal when we need to nick a goal. Texas says Lingard instead of Rashford. I thought it was good to see Rashford on the right-hand side, actually. I think out of all the players we've tried on the right-hand side, and I still would like to see us try Sanchez on the right-hand side, of all the players we have tried on the right-hand side, Marcus is the one that I think is the most natural out of all of those we have tried. So I definitely would like to see him, give him more opportunity. He's got a wonderful cross on him, for starters. Not sure if Sevilla are a football team or a diving team, says Vidar. It was awful, wasn't it? Someone saying Jose Mourinho is finished. Honestly? All right, mate, whatever, you're entitled to your opinion. We weren't even that bad, says Nehemiah. We started off poorly, but we really grew in the second half and we looked more dangerous. Pogba was good in the second half and Rashford and Martial added pace. If we'd have nicked a goal, and we didn't, obviously, if we'd have nicked a goal at the end, you would have said that was the perfect way to play an away European tie. You go, you keep it tight, you keep it pretty solid, which by and large we did do. For a change, it was nice to see us not get overrun in midfield. I mean, I was literally just happy to see that. But we didn't have much structure in the final third, and we wasn't really creative in the final third. Need Bay, says Shabazz. That's a great point, mate. Yeah, we do need Bay. Maybe once Bay's back, we look a little bit more confident. Weren't that bad, but we weren't good either, says Kristen. Correct, mate. 26 shots on target. We can't afford the same display against teams. They didn't have 26 shots on target. I think they had 8, didn't they? They didn't have 26. They might have had 26 shots on goal, mate. But even that, I'd be surprised at, to be honest. Should we drop Alexis and return to a Pogba-centred setup? We have never had a Pogba-centred setup. That's why a lot of people are flipping out about it. If we did have a Pogba-centred setup, we'd be fine. I think you play to our strengths there. I think we are trying to shoehorn Alexis in a little bit. I think we got him without really knowing how we was going to use him. I just think that's the way it's gone down. But when a player like that becomes available, you get the guy in. The midfield three worked, says Raf. Of course it did, mate. Because it's kind of obvious to everybody. Well, it worked in terms of at least how solid we was, for starters. And we had a little bit more space just ahead of the D. But it didn't work because we didn't get the result, really. I thought we could have got it. What do I think about Lukaku? In what sense? He's still not getting enough ball for us to do anything with, I don't think. Something defo wrong with Pogba. In what sense, Ross? The ref was awful. I thought the ref was alright, to be honest. I thought he was pretty good, you know. Love you, Steve says, beautiful Toronto. Love you too, mate. Need to start Shaw. I would definitely agree on that. Lukaku is a lazy player. I can't agree with you on that one, mate. We need to play quicker football, says Shabazz. Yes, I definitely do think we need to move the ball through the thirds a lot faster than we currently do. And I think that's one of the benefits that you do get out of a defence that can play football a little bit better than what we currently had with Chris Smalling and out of it. I don't think he moves the ball up. I don't think Ashley Young facilitates that either. I think he dwells on the ball a little bit. I think you're a little bit more direct when you've got Luke Shaw. We might be a little bit more direct when we've got Baye. But yeah, we've got to be better moving through the thirds. Wish we'd got an away goal, says John. No, was it John? No, Devon. Yeah, mate, an away goal would have been brilliant. Where's Rojo? Rojo, I think Mourinho said Rojo wasn't going to make it. I've got a question for you lot, though, because this has been rattling around my head for all tonight, essentially, is what's happened with Daley Blind? I'm not sure Daley Blind's injured. But in all this time that we've needed a midfielder, someone that can move the ball up through the thirds, an intelligent passer, Daley Blind's nowhere to be seen. Where's Daley Blind? Daley Blind somehow managed to form an actual effective partnership with Smalling at the back, and it wasn't because of how Louis van Gaal defensively set teams up. There was a genuine good partnership for a little while at least. When we've needed a number 6, when we've needed to give someone like Matic a rest, why have we not even thought about playing Daley Blind there? I don't get that one at all. He's happy to play other players out of position. I don't get it. Need to play Marshall over Sanchez. You can obviously understand why Sanchez has played since he's come in. Need a better ball-playing midfielder. I like the talk of Tony Cruz. Tony Cruz, I think, is an absolutely phenomenal number 8. I like the talk of Tony Cruz coming because I think a midfield of Matic, Cruz and Pogba with somebody tonight put the seed of Wanyama, a Wanyama-style player alongside him. I do like that. I like the idea of Timothy Fosu-Mensah being part of that conversation as well. You've got to kind of look at next season. I don't think there's going to be much chance of any of that happening this season. McTominay looks great, but we need another quality midfielder. I think he's very basic, to be honest. I think there's a lot of holes in McTominay's game. He's being very solid and dependable, which is commendable on his part, and I think Jose Mourinho's going to like him and make him part of the squad for that reason. But if we want to be talking about competing in the Premier League and going to the latter stages in the Champions League, I'm not sure McTominay has got that quality. But for the experience level that he's got, I think he's doing fantastic. So hats off to him at the moment. Herrera was good today. Herrera was good till he got injured. He just got injured far too early, and I reckon that's a bit of a nightmare for us. Right, I'm going to bounce. Adam's coming very soon, so make sure to keep it locked to Full-Time Devils for that. And we've got a massive game this weekend, so join us, I think it's Friday, for the preview for that one. And until then, I'll see you in a bit. Laters.